Hello, everyone. Melinda Dad here, the Dad at Games. Thanks for joining me today. Today, we are continuing on with part 2 of Turnabout Sisters. So let's get on into it. September 7th, 10 a.m., District Court Room number 1. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Maya Fey. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Miles Edgeworth. I better not show any signs of weakness today, or he'll be on me in an instant. Mr. Edgeworth, please give the court your opening statement. Thank you, Your Honor. The defendant, Miss Maya Fey, was at the scene of the crime. The prosecution has evidence she committed this murder. And we have a witness who saw her do it. The prosecution sees no reason to doubt the facts of this case, Your Honor. I see. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Let's begin then. If we may call our first witness, Your Honor. The prosecution calls the chief officer at the scene, Detective Gumshoe. Witness, please state your name and profession to the court. Sir. My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm the detective in charge of homicides down at the precinct, sir. Detective Gumshoe, please describe for us the details of this murder. Very well, sir. Let me use this floor map of the office to explain. The body was found by this window here. And the cause of death? Loss of blood due to being struck by a blunt object, sir. The murder weapon was a statue of the Thinker found next to the body, sir. It was heavy enough to be a deadly weapon, even in a girl's hands, sir. The court accepts the statue as evidence. They're still calling it a statue. Floor plans added to the court record. Now, detective. Yes, sir. You immediately arrested Miss Maya Fey, who was found at the scene, correct? Can you tell me why? Yes, sir. I had hard evidence she did it, sir. Detective Gumshoe, please testify to the court about this hard evidence. Testimony time, boys and girls. Maya Fey's arrest. As soon as the phone call came in, I rushed to the scene. There were 2 people there already. The defendant, Miss Maya Fey, and a lawyer, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I immediately arrested Miss Maya Fey. Why? We had a witness account describing her. The witness saw Miss Maya Fey at the very moment of the murder. The very moment, you say? Very well. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Cross-examine what? I couldn't see a single contradiction in that testimony. Hey, Maya just threw something at me. What's this? When my sister couldn't find any contradictions in a witness's testimony, she would bluff it and press the witness on every detail. The witness always slips up and says something wrong. It works lots of times. Should have expected Maya would know some of her sister's tricks. Alright, let's give this a try. Something the matter? No, Your Honor. I'd like to begin my cross-examination. Maya Fey's arrest. As soon as the phone call came in, I rushed to the scene. There were 2 people there already. The defendant, Miss Maya Fey. The lawyer, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I immediately arrested Miss Maya Fey. Why? We had a witness account describing her. The witness saw Miss Maya Fey at the very moment of the murder. Okay, so that was his entire thing, and now we have to press him for what his thinking is. All right, so we had a witness account describing her. We know that it was across the road from the hotel, so I want to press for more information on this. How did you see a person across the street? Hold on just 1 second. Yeah? If I heard correctly, you said you arrested her because you had hard evidence. She did it, correct? Did I say that? Me? I heard you say it. You did say it. You said it. Exactly what about this suspicious woman in Pink's claims was hard evidence? What? Miss May isn't suspicious, and she sure isn't Pink, pal. Well, I guess she is Pink. That's enough, Detective Gumshoe. Do you have any more solid proof other than her claims, Detective? I guess pressing can have its advantages. Yes. Sorry, I got the order of things mixed up in my testimony, Your Honor. There was something I should have told you about first, Your Honor. Very well, Detective. Hear your testimony again. The hard evidence. After securing the suspect, I examined the scene of the crime with my own eyes. I found a memo written on a piece of paper next to the victim's body. On it, the word Maya was written clearly in blood. Lab test results showed that the blood was the victim's. Also, there was blood found on the victim's finger. Before she died, the victim wrote the killer's name. How do you like that? That's my hard evidence. Before we begin cross-examination, I have a question for you, Detective. Your Honor. Why didn't you testify about this vital piece of evidence the first time? I know, I'm real embarrassed I forgot about it, Your Honor, sir. Try to be more careful. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. He's not too happy. After securing the suspect, I examined the scene of the crime with my own eyes. Alright, that part's true. I found a memo written on a piece of paper next to the victim's body. On it, the word Maya was written clearly in blood. Lab test results showed that the blood was the victim's. Also, blood found on the victim's finger. Before she died, the victim wrote the killer's name. I want to get more information on this. Detective Gumshoe, do you get a lot of cases where the victim actually writes the killer's name? Sure, happens all the time in books and movies. This isn't a movie, Detective. Ugh. Let's talk about reality, shall we? I guess. I haven't heard of many cases, no. Don't you find it a little odd that the victim would write down a name? Especially the name of her own sister? Yeah, actually, you got a point, pal. Objection! Stop right there. The witness' opinion on the matter is irrelevant. The facts are clear. The victim wrote down the name of the accused. The victim told us the name of her killer. Order. Order. That didn't go so well. That's right. What he said. That's his whole testimony. Alright, there's gotta be a contradiction in there somewhere. Let's find it. securing the suspect, I examined the scene of the crime with my own eyes. Alright, so he arrested. Found the memo written on a piece of paper next to the victim's body. Let's press on this. Just because you found it next to the body doesn't mean the victim wrote it. Then who did write it, smarty pants? What, who? Well, I'm not going to say Miss May, because she was in there. And I'm not going to say because it incriminates me. I'm just going to say the killer. The killer. Anyone can see that. Ugh. You're saying a killer wrote her own name? Buddy, please. She was framed. Hold on. If that's the case, where's your evidence? Ha, I guess that was a bit of a tall order for you. Those without evidence shouldn't open their mouths, Mr. Wright. Yeah, pal. Well, detective, tell us what was written on that memo you found. On it, the word Maya was written clearly in blood. Lab test results showed that the blood was the victim's. Also, there was blood found on the victim's finger. Before she died, the victim wrote the killer's name. Okay, if it's not there, perhaps it's in the first part? Showed that the blood was the victim's. On it, the word Maya was written clearly in blood. Found the memo written on a piece of paper next to the victim's. After securing the suspect, I examined the scene of the crime with my own eyes. What did you see at the scene of the crime? And did you find any evidence? Now, don't jump to gum on me, pal. Just listen. I'm getting to the good part. I got a bad feeling about this. Okay, so we did this one. Found the memo. On it, the word Maya was clearly written in blood. So that one was the test, right? Do you have proof it was Mia who wrote that? Of course I do, pal. Uh-oh, you sound pretty confident. This might not be so good. Lab test results showed that the blood was the victim's. Also, there was blood found on the victim's finger. Before she died, the victim wrote the killer's name. This is tricky. I'm trying to press this on, but I'm not exactly sure which one it needs to be. Also, there was blood found on the victim's finger. Press on this one. On which hand was the bloody finger, detective? The right hand. She was right-handed. I don't think that helps me any. Nice try. I guess it wasn't too hard to see that I was getting at there. I almost did like all of these and I'm still not getting it. Before she died, the victim wrote the killer's name. Also, there was blood found on the victim's finger. Lab test results show that the blood was the victim's. What kind of tests were these again? Huh? What kind? Well, I hear they take the little bits in the blood and then the hemoglobin, hermogoblin boblin. I refuse to testify on this matter, pal. I'm no expert on blood test. Yes, that was quite clear. You may continue with your testimony. Thanks, pal. I mean, Your Honor, sir. Detective Gumshoe. Yeah. I look forward to your next evaluation, as should you. Uh-oh. That was a mess. Right. Where was I? Blood found on the victim's finger. Lab test results showed the blood was the victim's. On it, the word Maya was written clearly in blood. Found the memo written on a piece of paper next to the victim's body. After securing the suspect, I examined the scene of the crime with my own eyes. We did that one. Found the memo. Blood. Lab results showed that the blood was the victim's. Also, there was blood found on the victim's finger. Before she died, the victim wrote the killer's name. Hold it right here. Right here. Before she died, the victim wrote the killer's name. I got evidence for this. We are good to go, boys and girls. I know what I need to do. The autopsy report. It said death was instantaneous. How did she have time to write her killer's name? Detective Gumshoe, there's one thing I want you to clarify for me here. You say the victim, Maya Fey, wrote this note? That she was accusing the defendant, Maya Fey? That's really what you're saying. What? This isn't one of those lawyerly tricks now, is it? Of course you wrote it. Who else could have? You have it backwards, detective. Backwards? The victim is the only person who absolutely could not have written it. This is a report from your department, detective. Immediate death due to a blow from a blunt object. She died immediately. But... no butting your way out of this one, detective. Order. Order. The defense has a point. Someone who died immediately wouldn't have had the time to write anything down. Objection! Mr. Wright. I beg your pardon. When exactly did you obtain that autopsy report? What? When? That would be... it wasn't the day of the murder, it was the day after. It was the day after the murder. The prosecution's point being... that autopsy report is outdated, Your Honor. What? A second autopsy report was performed yesterday at my request. Death was almost immediate due to the blow from a blunt object. But there is a possibility the victim lived for several minutes after the blow. I received those results this morning. No way. Your Honor, it's quite easy to imagine that the victim did have time to write Maya. That is all. I see. Damn you, Edgeworth. I should have known you'd have something up your sleeve. Why, Mr. Wright? You look shocked. Something you want to say? The detective's doing his work. I'm gonna say he's a sham. Mr. Edgeworth, I've heard there's nothing you won't do to get your verdict. What reason could you possibly have to request a second autopsy report? Mr. Wright, the defense will refrain from personal attacks on the prosecution. No matter, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, say what you will, the evidence is in the report is undeniable. Your Honor, I submit this report to the court. Understood. The court accepts the evidence. Autopsy report updated to the current record. Died from a blood object, may have lived for a few minutes. Well, Your Honor, the evidence strongly suggests that the victim was identifying the killer. I suppose that's the obvious conclusion. Yes. Darn. This isn't good. The prosecution would like to call its next witness. This poor, innocent lass saw the murder with her own eyes. Let the witness, Miss April May, take the stand. Exactly what part of her is innocent? Witness, your name, please. April May, at your service. Order. An introduction should not require any reaction from the crowd. The witness will refrain from wanton winking. Aww. Yes, Your Honor. Oh, this is not good. She's already captured the heart of every man in this courtroom. Tell us, where were you on the night of September 5th when the murder occurred? Gee. I was like, in my hotel room? I checked in right after lunch. And that's the hotel. Is it directly across from the Fey & Co. law offices? That's right, big boy. Please testify to the court what you saw. The witness's account. It was like 9 at night. I looked out the window, you know. And then, I saw a woman with long hair being attacked. The one attacking her was the mousy girl sitting in the defendant's chair. Then the woman, dodged to one side and ran away. But that girl, she caught up to her and she hit her. Then the woman, with her long hair, she kind of slumped. The end. That's all I saw. Every little bitsy witsy. Well, Your Honor. I see. It is a remarkable solid testimony. I don't see a need to trouble the witness any. Wait, Your Honor? Yes, Mr. Wright? What about my cross-examination? I thought the witness's testimony just now was quite firm, didn't you? Mr. Wright, I understand you were Miss Maya Fey's understudy, were you not? You must know her techniques well. A cowardly way of fighting tiny faults in perfectly good testimonies. Hey, how dare you? Well, Mr. Wright, will you cross-examine the witness? Obviously I'm going to cross-examine her. The bitch is lying. We know she's lying. I'll gladly proceed with the cross-examination. If only because I have the feeling Edgeworth doesn't want me to. She has to have some weakness. Very well. You may begin your cross-examination. Witness's account. It was like 9 at night. I looked out the window, you know. Okay, so the autopsy report said it was at 9. And then, I saw a woman with long hair being attacked. The one attacking her was the mousy girl sitting in the defendant's chair. Let's start pressing our own stuff. Why did you do that? Huh? Why? Why what? Why did you look out the window? Were you expecting to see something? Oh, well, gee. What? That's it? She can't get out of this question that easily. I sort of, you know, had a feeling. Well, I have a feeling she's trying to avoid the question. Maybe I should press a little harder on this one. See how far I can run with this. Surely you must have had a reason to look out your window at that time of night. Objection! Mr. Wright, I won't have you badgering my witness. Badgering? You'll insist on needling her with these trivial questions. I really don't think it should be allowed. Yeah, stop him! The poor girl. Order. Mr. Wright, you have been warned. Poor girl? What about poor me? You looked out the window. What'd you see next? And then, I saw a woman with long hair being attacked. What details on this? The woman with long hair. That was Maya Fey? Uh-huh. Slender? Sort of, well, some people might say pretty, if that's your thing. Your thing? And the person attacking her? The one attacking her was the mousy girl sitting in the defendant's chair. Then the woman, dodged to one side and ran away. She dodged? Dodged what? Well, the attack. Please continue your testimony. But that girl, she caught up to her, and she hit her. How did you know it was my client? Huh? Well, gee. First of all, she had a girl's physique. And secondly, she was small. Who else could be but her? has a point. I question it. Hold on a minute. That testimony stinks. What? Miss May, I'm willing to bet that. Did you really see the defendant at all? Ugh. Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? Yeah, what's the meaning? Somebody tell me because I'm clueless about this. I mean... Okay. If you had really witnessed my client, Maya Fey, you would have noticed her clothes before noticing her physique. Oh, I love this music. No one wears clothes like this on a daily basis, except her. And I'm no expert on fashion, but her hairdo looks far from normal to me. However, the witness's testimony mentions neither of these things. The testimony is bogus. But... Still, we don't know if she was dressed that way the night of the murder. She was, Your Honor. I saw her. And so did Detective Gumshoe. What do you say to that, Miss May? What are you trying to say, you mean lawyer? I saw what I saw. I just didn't think all that trifling little details were necessary, darling. Miss May, the court would like to remind you to please omit nothing in your testimony. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'll be a good girl, I promise. Your testimony again, if you would. Damn, I almost had her. Witness's account. I did see everything. I did. The victim, the woman, dodged the first attack and ran off to the right. Then, the girl in the hippie clothes ran after her. And she hit her with that weapon. I saw it. I did. That clock, that kind of statue-y clock? The thinker, I think? Well, does the accuracy of my report not startle you? She busted herself up there. Oh boy, do I got evidence for this. Only wish I had been so detailed from the beginning. Please begin the cross-examination. How does she know that it was a clock? Everyone says it's a statue. It was even put in a court record as a statue. The victim, the woman, dodged directly ran to the right. The girl in the hippie clothes ran after her. She hit her with that weapon. I saw, I did. That clock, yeah, that statue-y clock, the thinker, I think. Yeah, how did you know that was a clock? A clock? Did this come up in another testimony recently? Well, don't look so sour, Mr. Lawyer. You can't win them all. No, but I have a feeling I'm onto something now. That clock, the kind of statue-y clock, the thinker, I think. The murder weapon looks like a statue, but it's actually a clock made by Larry Butts. I want to go back on this one just to be on the safe side. Double check, make sure it's something else. The victim woman ran into the first attack and ran off to the right. Is that right as in your right? As you looked from the hotel? Which hand do I hold my knife in again? Right. I was my right hand, right? Satisfied, Mr. Wright. Please continue. Then the girl in the hippie clothes ran after her. She hit her with a weapon. I saw. I did. That clock. Yeah, that kind of statue clock. The thinker, I think. Victim, the woman dodged the first attack, ran off to the right. I did see everything I did. The victim, the woman dodged the first attack, ran off. See, I did see everything I did. Victim, the woman dodged the first attack, ran off to the right. There's a problem with that. Let's check out our floor plans. So she did that, she ran off to the right. But if she ran off to the right, how did she get back to go die in front of the mirror if her body was there? Huh. Oh, wait, I know what to do. Then the girl in the hippie clothes ran after her, and she hit her with a weapon. I saw it, I did. That clock, that kind of clock, the thinker, I say. I'm going to present the clock.
Objection!
Miss May, what you said just now was quite revealing. Revealing? Oh, you like that, why didn't you? Naughty Mr. Lawyer. You just said that this statue of the thinker was a clock. But there's no way of knowing that just by looking at it. Another person in much the same position as you recently called this a clock, too. And he was found guilty of murder. Order! Order! Miss May, can you explain how you know this was a clock?
Objection!
The witness saw the murder with her own eyes. That's all the important here. The defense is trying to confuse the issue with trivial concerns. Yes, of course. You will withdraw your question, Mr. Wright? Objection! But questions are all I have, Your Honor. As you may recall, I've caught murderers with these questions before. Well, only once. Objection sustained. You may continue to question the witness. That was close. If he stopped me there, this trial would be over. What? So, what happens now? What happens now is you answer my question. How did you know this was a clock? What? That's... because I heard it? Yes, I heard it say the time. So, you've been to the law offices of Fey & Co.? No, hey, I didn't say that. Why would I go there? I heard it from my hotel room. The law offices of Fey & Co. where the murder took place. It's very close to the hotel. She could easily have heard the clock. Well, Mr. Wright, are you satisfied? No, Your Honor. I can't give up now. I'm not satisfied because... you couldn't have rung. Your Honor, members of the court. It is inconceivable that the clock in question rang. That clock is missing the clockwork. How could you possibly? Just take a look, right now. Oh, see anything interesting, Your Honor? It's as the defense says. This clock is missing this clockwork. It's quite empty. Mr. Wright, would you care to explain to the court the meaning of this? It is as you can see. The clock was empty. It couldn't have rung. Therefore, this witness is a big, fat liar. Fat? Well, Miss May? Tisk, tisk. Quite a show you put on for us, Mr. Wright. He knew the clock was empty? Somehow he knew? I'm afraid you've forgotten one thing, however. Indeed, the clock is empty. As you say, it can't ring. However, we must ask, when was the clockwork removed? If it was after the witness heard the clock, then there is no contradiction. That's true. That is a possibility. The clock might have been emptied after she heard it. And this is exactly what happened, Your Honor. Well, Mr. Wright, can you prove when the clock was removed? Impossible, of course. I have proof. What? Wasn't it you who told me proof is everything? Well, I was listening. And now I'll show you the proof you like so much. The evidence that proves the clock was removed is... Holds a conversation. I want to double check. What's up? Actually, there's something I want you to hold on to. Can I share? What is it this time? Yep, it's the statue. But it's not the clock. It's lame. Yep. Go back on that. And we are going to go present our phone. Keep doing that. Present.
Take that!
Take a look at this. That's a very cute cell phone. Oh, you have a girly phone. Wait. This isn't my phone. Listen. This is the defendant's cell phone, and it contains a recording. A recording of a conversation she had with the victim on the day of the murder. Order. The defendant's cell phone. This wasn't brought to my attention. Perhaps Detective Gumshoe overlooked it. The good detective better remember he's up for an evaluation soon. I gotta say, I'm starting to feel bad for the big fella. Let's hear the conversation.
So you just want me to hold on to the thinker for you then? If you could. I should probably tell you, the clock isn't talking right now. Huh? It's not working? That's lame. I had to take the clockwork out. Sorry.
September 5th, 9:27 a.m. Your Honor, I think this makes it clear the clockwork was already gone by the time this was recorded. Which was well before the witnesses even arrived at the hotel. Well, Miss May, would you care to explain this to the court? Just how did you know that the weapon was a clock? Well, isn't it obvious? I saw that clock before. What store was that again? I go to so many. I forgot. So the witness had seen it before. That would make sense. Does the defense have any objections, Mr. Wright? Of course we do. They're handmade by our good old buddy Butts. The witness claims she had seen it before. But this directly contradicts a piece of evidence already submitted to the court. Well then, let's see it. Please produce this evidence that will prove the witnesses had not seen this clock before. It's the statue itself. It's simple. This clock was never in any store. Ever. What? A friend of mine made that clock. Only two exist in the whole world. And the one that isn't here is in police custody. Impossible. Everything is sold in stores. Miss May, I think it's high time you went shopping for a better excuse. Oh, excuse is not on sale today. What's it to you, porcupine head? That stupid clock doesn't matter, okay? She did it, and she should die for it. Die! Whoa, let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is a court of law, and the witness will remain calm. Silly me. Did I, lose it? I guess I did. Scary. Miss May, let me ask. Tell me, how did you know the weapon was a clock? Oh, she's looking angry and pissed. Oh dear. Does the defense have an opinion on this behavior? Alright, this is it. Yes, Your Honor. Allow me to explain how I see the truth of the matter. Miss April May, you knew the weapon was a clock because you heard about it. The witness had never held a clock in her hand. However, she had heard that it was a clock. She heard? That's correct, Your Honor. There is no other way she could have known the thinker was a clock. And I can show you the proof. Well, this is interesting. Let's see it then. Show me evidence proving that the witnesses had heard the murder weapon was a clock. That she had heard. Oh, because of the voicemail. The defendant's cell phone. Yes, we've seen that already. Take another listen to the conversation between the defendant and the victim.
Yeah, what's up? You haven't called in a while. Well, actually, there's something I want to hold you on to me. Again? What's it this time? It's a clock. It's made to look like that statue, the thinker. It tells you the time.
They do mention the thinker, but how would the witness know of this conversation? Do you have proof that she knew of it? That I do, because we found the wiretap in her drawer beside her massive dildos. Have a look at this. Oh, that? I found this in Miss May's room. Mr. Wright, please explain to the court what this is. Miss April May, you used a wiretap to listen in on this conversation. That's how you knew the thinker was a clock. Am I wrong?
Objection!
Your Honor, this is ridiculous. Your Honor, look at the witness's face. Does she seem amused to you? The defense demands an answer. Witness, answer the question. Did you tap her phone? Miss May. Shut up, all of you. What gives you the right to talk to me like that? You lawyer. It's no fair. All of you ganging up on me like that. So I'm the bad girl, is that it? Is that it? That did it. The court's seen the real Miss April May now. Now they deal with the final blow. Why the wiretap? Why did you tap her phone? Answer the question. Do I have to? Isn't this a murder trial? Should be tapping her irrelevant? She's saying exactly what Ezra wants her to say. Miss May, you were tapping the victim's phone. I hardly call that irrelevant. While this court does not condone the defense's tone of voice, he has a point. Well, Miss May, do you have an explanation for the court? Can you prove you had nothing to do with this murder, even though you tapped her phone? I like to see her pull that off. Mr. Lawyer, I saw that evil grin. You were probably thinking I'd like to see her pull that off, weren't you? Damn, she's good. Well, you're not the first man who thought that. And of course I can. And will. You can't be serious. No way. Way. I say, way. Oh, and I assure you, I'm serious, Mr. Lawyer. Okay, so, the killing happened around 9 at night. Why, that's just when I was getting room service from that sweet bellboy. Room service? Iced coffee, I believe it was. Iced coffee, you know, like normal coffee, but cold. If you can't drink it quick, the ice melts when you have regular cold coffee. Ice coffee? Think I'm making this up? Ask the bellboy. Ergo, the witness was not at the scene of the time of the murder. So, where does that leave us? It is my greatest pleasure to inform you that the witness appears to have been tapping the victim's telephone. However, that is a separate crime with no bearing on the current case whatsoever. Her testimony stands. She saw the defendant Maya Fey commit murder. No, they're going to let her just walk away? There's no way I can win this unless I tie Miss May to the murder somehow. Well, does the defense have anything to say? Well, come on, think of something. I'm gonna call the bellboy. The defense would like to call the hotel bellboy as a witness. There's something suspicious here, and I'm going to find the bottom of it. I think you're sunken quite low enough already.
Objection!
Why? What's your reason? Because I hold what the wiretapping had nothing to do with the killing. However, if you agree to one condition, I'll consent to calling this witness. Condition? If Miss April May's alibi is not called into question after you examine the bellboy, then you will recognize that Miss April may not be the killer. Thus, she's innocent. And thereby, you must also accept a verdict of guilty for Miss Maya Fey. That is my condition. What? I better find something suspicious in that bellboy's testimony. Otherwise, Maya's gonna be declared guilty on the spot. What should I do? We're gonna find it. We're accepting the condition. Alright. I got nothing to lose. Except for, well, everything. Understood. I accept your condition. Fool. You fell right into my trap. Uh-oh. Wait. Very well. The court calls the hotel bellboy to the stand. I believe we're ready for the witness to testify. He certainly looks like a bellboy. Yes, sir. I received your summons in the middle of work, sir. I'm happy to be of service. That tea set looks rather heavy, so without further ado, the witness may begin his testimony. Very good, sir. Miss May's room service. I am the head bellboy at the fine Great Water Hotel, in business for 4 generations. I believe I received a call after 8 in the evening from our guest, Miss May. She asked for an iced coffee to be brought to her at 9 on the dot, sir. I brought it to her at precisely the request of time, of course. And I delivered the iced coffee to our guest, Miss May herself. Do you know what's wrong with this picture, boys and girls? 'Cause I sure do. I see. The defense may begin this cross-examination. Right. I'm ready. I hope. This is it. If I can't prove Miss May was involved for the murder now, Maya will be finished. We already know what this is. Oh, I know what it is. Head bellboy to Fine Great Water Hotel. That's fine. I believe I received a call after 8 in the evening from our guest. That's fine. She asked for an iced coffee to be brought to her at 9 on the dot. So, if the iced coffee was brought to her at 9 on the dot, the iced coffee, that means she was at the door getting her coffee and not at the window to see the murder that happened right at 9 o'clock. My evidence for that is the autopsy report. That was updated. Wait a minute. Yeah, it's going to be an autopsy report.
Objection!
Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence. It's not going to count it? He doesn't see any contradictory. Really? Trying to think for you. No, that... Ah, that didn't go so well. She asked for an iced coffee to be brought her right at 9 o'clock.
Hold it!
9 on the dot, you say? Yes, I confirmed that detail several times. She was watching a program on the TV and wished to drink after she'd finished, sir. 9, time of the murder. Yeah, that's why I was presented the autopsy report, because he said she died like at 9 o'clock. I brought it to her precisely at the requested time. And I delivered the iced coffee to our guest herself. he wouldn't have any reason to lie. But I have to find something to use in his testimony. One more time. I'll press him until he spills the beans. Or his tea. Right, we know that part's fine. 9 o'clock on the dot. Brought to her precisely at the requested time, of course. And I delivered time code to our guest.
Hold it!
Precisely 9 o'clock then? Precisely, exactly. And most definitely, sir. 9 p.m. How can you be so sure? Miss May was quite insistent that it be brought right then. Oh, bellboy. I like iced coffee at exactly 9. Something like that, sir. Therefore, I knocked on her door at the crack of 9 a.m. p.m. Why would she be so particular about the time? And I delivered the coffee to our guest.
Hold it!
Are you sure it was Miss April May who answered herself? Absolutely, sir. Absolutely? Yes, sir. As in, so very absolutely, sir, it's an endearing mannerism of mine. How come you're so very certain? Well, when I brought the room service, sir, the guest, favored me with, an embarrasser, sir. Embarrasser? Is that French for embrace? It's French for kiss, sir. But not a French kiss, sir. No, more of a peck on the cheek. Why would she have done that? I believe perhaps she was momentarily swayed by my prime demeanor, sir. It was a moment I shall never forget, sir. Sounds pretty fishy to me. I think our Miss Fey was up to something and wanted the bellboy to remember her. It's no good. There's nothing there. Is that it? This disc. Finally, you'll understand. This bellboy had absolutely no reason to lie. Now, if you have any decency, you'll end this rather tedious cross-examination here. It was a bit tedious. The witness may leave the stand. I can't let this happen, can I? No, I'm protesting. Because I know I'm right on this. Wait. Please wait. Yes? Does the defense have something to add? One last question. Let me ask one last question.
Objection!
Your Honor, I must object. This charade of justice has gone off long enough. Now, Mr. Edgeworth. All right, Mr. Wright. I'll give you one more question. That's all. All right. This is really it. Now this is my last chance. What do I ask him about? Check-in? Room service? Bed making? What was her check-in like? Was she with anyone? Tell me about the check-in. Tell me about when you checked in, Miss May. Oh, all right. Very well, sir. My first thought was that she was a beautiful, beautiful person. She's just my type of girl, so it was a disappointment, really. I see. Excuse me? What exactly was a disappointment? Well, I'm not without charm, sir, but even I have little chance with her lover there. What did he say? What did you say? Rather quite. Bellboy, tell us the truth now. Did Miss May check in with another person?
Objection!
I object. That was objectionable. Objection overruled. The witness will answer the question. Yes, I see. Why did you not mention this in your testimony? Well, sir, you didn't ask. Nice try. That's the sort of thing you're normally supposed to mention. Yes, quite. Indeed. It was the good barista here, Mr. Edgeworth, who... What did Edgeworth do? He asked me not to mention it if it wasn't specifically asked, sir. You fool. I've done it. I've won. Miss April May checked into a twin room with a man. Correct? Yes, sir. Then, when you brought them room service, you didn't see that man in the room? That's right, sir. Your Honor, we have just learned of another person involved who may have been the murderer. In light of this new fact, I hold that it's impossible to judge the defendant. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Edgeworth? And who, Mr. Wright? Who is this other person? Simple. It was the man with Miss May. The man who checked in with Miss May. Ugh. Your Honor, as has been precisely revealed, Miss April May was tapping the victim's phone. Yet, Miss May herself was an alibi at the time of the murder. However, that does not clear the man that was with her. The bellboy saw no one else in the room at the time of the murder. My, what a convenient little setup. But it's too late. Too late? I suppose you'd like it if it was too late, wouldn't you? After all, it was you who hid the presence of the other man from this court. Ugh. Yeah, you're dying alert, you son of a bitch. Upstart amateur. These accusations are ludicrous. Enough. The court acknowledges the defense's argument. I expect the prosecution and defense to look into this matter fully. And I understood. Yes. Yes, Your Honor. That is all today for the trial of Maya Fey. Court is adjourned. Whew, it was kind of rough at the start, but yeah, we got there in there. September 7th, 2:24 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 1.
Mr. Wright, you were amazing in there.
Really?
I think I might be your newest fan.
Oh, no, I was just doing my job, you know.
And again, the other attorney was pretty cool too.
Huh?
That face of his, with his eyes wide and trembling lips, it sent shivers up my spine.
Oh god, my voice is killing me on that one. If you say so.
So, what happens with me? Do I get to go home now?
Well... No, I don't think so. Not yet. Oh, I see. But I got a great lead on the day's trial.
A lead?
That man with Miss May. He's the key.
Oh, I get it. What happened to Miss May after that, anyway?
I heard they arrested her. I guess she's learning her charms won't work on everywhere. She's probably at the detention center now. I may have to go down there later. Anyway, this case is far from closed.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to find out more about this man.
Do you think he was the one who...
Maybe so.
Sis.
Don't worry. I'll find him by tomorrow. I promise.
I'm counting on you.
I asked for a full record of April May's testimony. I thought it might come in handy during the trial tomorrow. But now that I have it, I'm not so sure. Most of her testimony was all lies. In fact, there's only one part that hasn't been stricken from the record. I don't know how much good this will do me at all now. Anyway, time to hit the pavement and do some investigating. Maya doesn't belong to that detention center, and it's up to me to set her free. Alright, and that's it for this episode, boys and girls. We'll see you next time. Peace. So, bellboy, what exactly is it that Miss April told you? Well, at first she told me that she would suck followed by reaching around and sticking a finger up my as she makes me blow my little down her as she mounts and followed by spitting in my face. It was quite hard to forget. Oh boy. Sweet Mary Christ on the cracker. Well, I'm aroused.